The next section is under your settings is your known opponents. In here, you can update the rating in tournament. So let's say that you play a player, and let's say that when you played them originally, they were maybe rated 1300, and then you play them again, and they're now rated 1400. So when you pull in that opponent to play that opponent, you can actually choose to update the opponent rating as you're playing them. So as you play the same player over again or in the future, you can just update them. So that's what that's turned on for. The next feature is called automatic add opponents. So basically, when you're playing a player and you input them on the tournament screen, it's going to add them into your opponent's screen. If you don't want to add opponents on the device or keep track of any of your opponents, you can turn that feature off. However, it's really nice, as in later videos, when we go over the opponents, there's actually a section in here where you can actually search your opponents. So if there's a certain opponent that you played before in the past, you can actually click on the search button and basically search for that opponent. So it's a really nice feature to have. So it's recommended to leave that automatic add opponents, and that's why it's turned on. The next section in here is the battery optimization. In the battery optimization, if you turn this on, when you play in the tournament mode, it's going to dim the screen to the very dimmest setting possible, and it'll leave it dim throughout the whole game that you're playing. That way, it's not using as much battery life for keeping the screen brightness on. The next option in here is the tournament CPU saver. So if you turn that on, it'll bring down the state of the CPU to the lowest power setting possible for the CPU, so it's not using any CPU utilization at all. So it brings it down just to help save with the battery life. The last setting in here that we'll go over is the dark mode. Essentially, starting with version 2.3.0, dark mode was enabled. So when you turn it on, it'll basically create a dark mode for ChessNoterR, so it's easier to see, as it's easier on your eyes than the white mode is. So essentially, that's been added in here. And again, it's part of the new version 2.3.0. So all the menu settings will basically come up in a dark mode. So those are your settings.